Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'll be sharing with you 3 money beliefs that a lot of times can hold us back from experiencing what we want. Now realize that our beliefs are creating the kind of experiences that we have. That based upon our self-image, the way that we view ourselves, based upon the general blanket beliefs that we have about just the way the world works, that's what's determining and increasing the probabilities for the kind of experiences that we have. Now, the way that we change these beliefs is we simply become aware of them. Now, the beliefs that we have come from experiences that we've had, from memories, from reference experiences, where in a simple moment we decided that this is just the way the world works. Maybe when we were growing up, we wanted something and we asked our parents for it and they told us that money didn't grow on trees or that they didn't have the money to buy it for us. And we then started to tailor certain emotions onto things that we want in our life. And when we simply become aware and we ask ourselves the question, what would I have to believe is true to have these kind of experiences? Our brain will find the memory and we can simply choose to let it go. That from this point going forward, it's no longer on autopilot, and therefore that autopilot blanket belief no longer has to control the kind of experiences that we have. Now, the first limiting money belief that I had was believing that money was inherently evil. Now, this became because when I went through what we call an awakening 5 years ago, when I started to just learn more about myself and the way that life was really working for me, how my beliefs were creating the kind of experiences I had, I became aware that in studying the way the government works, the way that the government behind the government works, and learning about all of this, I realized that the banking institutions were actually corporations. And when I learned certain things, I became kind of angry because I realized that there was, at a certain level, certain manipulation that was happening with the whole process. And I realized that that was limiting me because as I had the belief that money was inherently evil, it was negating the experience of more of it coming into my life because that belief that I had could not reflect back to me something good coming to me when it was something that I didn't think was a good thing. So what I simply chose to do was to reframe what that meant, and I simply chose to let go of it being a negative thing. I started to see it as something that opens up opportunity for me, something that allows me to have more ability, to have more resources, to then share more information with people, to then have more opportunities to where I grow from. I was able to reframe it, and now instead of seeing something as money as inherently evil, I see it simply as something that allows for opportunities. Money equals opportunities. Money equals energy. And because I now have that perspective, I find that it more resonates with me, with the kind of experiences that I could have, because I'm more in alignment with it. There's nothing that's holding it back from actually coming into my life. Now ask yourself the question, what do I believe about money? Do I believe that money, there's scarcity around it? Do I believe that I'm worthy of it? As you start to ask yourself these questions, you'll see your brain start to look for certain reference experiences, look for certain memories, and then simply choose that those autopilot memory, those kind of perspectives no longer serve you, and instead insert the belief that you prefer. You may believe that money is good because it allows for more opportunities, that because you can add value to other people when you have money. Whatever the perspective is, simply realize that you can insert that new perspective, and that from this point going forward, that is simply a part of who you are. You are now more in resonance with who you prefer to be, and it's more likely that more money will come into your experience because you've changed that belief from the inside out. Now, the second limiting belief about money is the how of how we attain the money. Now, a lot of times there could be this connotation that money is something that you get when you trick people. Now, I work a sales commission job, and I worked a sales commission job for a long time, and I only get paid in proportion to what I sell. I get a commission. And what I learned years ago when I first started learning about how we could influence the kind of experiences that we have was something called NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. And I studied this because I realized that it was something that we could use on ourselves in order to change the way that we view who we are and, kind of let go of limiting those experiences that I talk about and to change ourselves from the inside out. But there's also information out there on how to manipulate other people using this. And I realized that it's not about manipulating other people to get more money, and that having that kind of frame, that kind of belief to begin with, almost makes it so that we put ourselves in a box because we'll never really feel that integrity for who we are and what we're doing. What I chose to do was, instead of seeing attaining money as something that involves tricking people, it's more so about how can I add value to other people. It's a completely new way of looking at it, and it's just a general way. Look at all the companies that do very well and that have had a long standing of being a successful company. They add value in some way. It's maybe Apple adding the value of computers, accessibility, of adding technology in a new way. It's all about adding value. And when we come from that frame, we'll see that so many more good opportunities come into our life, that we feel good about what we're doing. And I am able to see this reflection, especially just having these new type of beliefs from the daily experiences I have, because I only make money based upon how much I sell commission-wise. So if I go into work and I'm more focused on me and what can I get out of other customers, it has a certain type of momentum to where it doesn't turn out well, and it normally builds up resistance. But when I choose to simply add value to other people and I ask myself that question, it's like the whole dynamics change, because I'm no longer trying to manipulate the situation or manipulate other people. Things happen in a much better energy, and things just tend to happen on accordance of their own. It's like I'm almost trusting the process. So ask yourself the question, how do you think you need to attain money? Is it through thinking that, if you take money from someone else, that someone else loses out? Or are you adding value to other people? Maybe you're a painter and you could start to view yourself as somebody that adds value to other people by sharing beautiful artwork. Or that you are in sales, and instead of seeing it as something that you are taking from someone else, ask yourself, what can I give? What you put out is what you get back. The more value you give out, the more money is able to come into your experience. Now, the third belief has to do with believing in the old model for how we have to make money. Believing that we need a 9-to-5, or believing that we have to climb the corporate ladder to get where we want. When you become aware of the idea that there are so many opportunities out there now with the internet, you can see that you can reframe the kind of beliefs that we have about the way the world works from the core. Now, I grew up being told by, some family members that, you have to go to college, you have to get this degree, you have to work for a company for 30 years and then retire. I chose that just wasn't the way that I chose to view the world. And it was also obvious because I had people in my family, like my uncle, for example, that owned a successful business, that didn't go and get a 4-year degree or work for a corporation. And I just simply saw the fire that he had for what he did. And I realized that it's more about who you are. It's more about your intentions, the why about what you're doing. And if you have a good work ethic around it, you can create whatever you want. I changed believing in the old paradigm of the 9-to-5 job. And right now in this moment, what I'm doing is sharing these ideas. I'm passionately talking about what I want because my intention is to eventually grow with this to where this is my full-time thing. Now, the only way that's going to happen is if I embody what that is now in the present moment. And the more that I embody it, and while it's very busy for me, like I work a full-time job, and I do this, and you add up all the hours, it's easy 70 to 80 hours a week with everything that I do. But it doesn't feel like work as much because when I'm doing this right now, it's just part of my passion. Now, if you ask yourself the question, what are you passionate about? What you can begin to do is see how can you monetize it? How can you do it in a way that adds value to other people? And by changing and having that new level of understanding, you can see and increase the probabilities of you turning your passion into something that you can do for a living. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it, share it if you found it of value, and as always, I will see you guys on the next vid. Peace, much love, namaste. All right, bye.